federal search warrant, unsealed Friday, details a murder plot as part of a plan targeting President Donald Trump.
Along with the text, "Hail Hitler, Hail Hitler, the white race, Hail Victory." He planned to kill his parents. He was in contact with someone in Russia. A 3-page document the FBI found called for Trump's assassination to save the white race. By getting rid of the president and perhaps the vice president, that is guaranteed to bring in some chaos. Welcome back, everybody, to today's show. I hope you are doing well. We have quite the show ahead of us, and let's start with something pretty disturbing and grim. This is the story of a 17-year-old who allegedly killed both of his parents for the purposes of ultimately assassinating Trump for the purposes of saving the white race. What? That's what we're going to get into. You saw some videos on screen. I'll show you ABC News reporting inside the courtroom, videos of this guy, etc. And we have details from his manifesto. But again, a really confusing and fascinating, but then also just disturbing and tragic story here. CNN reports a 17-year-old in Wisconsin allegedly killed his parents as a part of a plot to assassinate Trump. And this guy is just a full-on Nazi, okay? Saying Hail Hitler in some of his manifesto, but spelling it wrong. Can you imagine? And wanting to, I guess, spark some sort of race war? By killing Trump, it would get white people to rise up? I'm confused. He's going to frame non-white people? A Wisconsin teenager allegedly killed his parents as part of a plot to assassinate President Donald Trump, federal authorities said in newly unsealed court documents. Nikita Casap, 17, called for the assassination of the president and overthrow of the U.S. government in written documents and text messages found by investigators. The alleged killing of his parents appeared to be an effort to attain the financial means and autonomy to carry out his plan. So that's a question when you hear the intro to this. Wait, what? He was wanting to assassinate Trump. Why did he kill his parents? I guess to attain the financial means and autonomy to go on with this assassination attempt to ultimately spark a revolution that saves the white race. In Wisconsin, the teen faces 9 felony charges, including 2 counts of first-degree murder and 2 counts of hiding a corpse. And we'll have more details on that gross detail in a little bit. Federal investigators, meanwhile, are pursuing 3 charges: presidential assassination, conspiracy, and use of weapons of mass destruction, which was written by an FBI agent in support of an application for a search warrant. So let's jump forward, because some of the details about sort of how he was caught and stuff maybe touched on in a second, but the specifics of his plan here. The Waukesha County Sheriff's Office obtained a search warrant and found material on Casap's phone related to the Order of 9 Angels, which is a network of individuals holding neo-Nazi, racially motivated extremist views, the affidavit said. They also found photos and communications referencing a self-described manifesto regarding assassinating the president, making bombs, and terrorist attacks. Sometimes these stories come out and it's talking about some network of neo-Nazis that exists that is, I guess, I don't know if they were in on this too, but they were talking about these terrorist attacks and how this was going to lead to that and XYZ. And you think this story is so tragic and disturbing, but as you learn more about what was happening up until he did the completely deranged act that he did and killing his parents, obviously extremely heartbreaking, and we feel for all the people who knew and loved those 2 parents. But you also start going, oh my gosh, how many times does it not lead to this? But there's just networks of people with these terrible, destructive, and devastating views just existing and being a part of communities. A 3-page document the FBI found called for Trump's assassination to create a political revolution in the United States to save the white race. We're still trying to figure out what is necessitating the saving of the white race, what's the threat there, and then also how he saw this going. Crazy. As to why specifically Trump, I think it's pretty obvious, he writes. By getting rid of the president and perhaps the vice president, that is guaranteed to bring in some chaos, one excerpt from the document said. The document also contained images of Adolf Hitler, along with the text, "Hail Hitler, Hail Hitler, the white race, Hail victory. The FBI additionally found image and messages on his phone with information on how to use a drone as an attack drone. He paid, at least in part, for a drone and explosives to commit an attack. They had also found photos of the front and back of Mayer's credit and debit cards and the username and password of a bank account. And maybe let's stop there. I'll read a little bit more, but let's jump over to this ABC News report where it talks about it, and the title is obviously Teen Kills Parents, an extremist plot to assassinate Trump.
Federal search warrant unsealed Friday details a murder plot as part of a plan targeting President Donald Trump. The documents attribute that plot to 17-year-old Waukesha student Nikita Casap. Charged in the shooting deaths of his mother, Tatiana, and stepfather, Donald Mayer, inside their home February 11th. According to prosecutors, the teenager stayed inside the home with their bodies for 12 days.
Victim B body was appeared to have been deceased for some time, was unable to definitively identify who it was.
Police arrested Casap in Kansas weeks later, finding him with his stepfather's car, gun, and $14,000. The motive for the murders, according to the federal warrant, was to use that money to fund a plan calling for the president's assassination, to, quote, foment a political revolution in the United States and save the white race. According to the records, Casap shared an affinity for the neo-Nazi group, the Order of Nine Angles. And they also reference a 3-page manifesto quoted as saying, as to why, specifically Trump, I think it's obvious.
By the way, I think I missaid angels. It's angles, as you heard.
By getting rid of the president and perhaps the vice president, that is guaranteed to bring some chaos. The records show Casap on the platforms TikTok and Telegram discussed buying a drone to use in an attack. And investigators say he told a classmate, quote, when they saw 10 consecutive attacks in the news, it would have been him.
Ugh. So obviously something is mentally deranged in him. That's obvious. And then you have mental derangement fueled by racial hatred and neo-Nazi ideology, which is a particularly dangerous and disgusting cocktail. Now, one of the things that comes up in a lot of these stories, from time to time, I know there's some haters on this, I dabble in listening to true crime stuff. And something that comes up a lot is that murderers or prospective murderers can't keep themselves from chit-chatting about their plans or bragging about the things they've done afterwards to their peers, which is very strange. Like, I'm glad you didn't get away with it, but don't you want to? Why are you being so obviously irresponsible there? In many ways, the 17-year-old's classmate told the sheriff's office in March that Casap had told him he planned to kill his parents, but did not have access to a gun. He later told the classmate that he would befriend someone who had a gun and steal it. Just telling the classmate every detail. I don't get this. The court document also said Casap told his classmate that he was in contact with someone in Russia. And said they were planning to overthrow the U.S. government and assassinating Trump. Now, you can't really take his word at much. Either he's delusionally thinking that he's communicating with someone in Russia, which very well could be the case, or he actually was. Either way, absolutely frightening. And all this technically at the point in time of when I'm recording this is alleged. According to the Waukesha County complaint, detectives found messages indicating Casap planned to leave the United States for Ukraine. In one Telegram message, he asked, so while in Ukraine, I'll be able to live a normal life, even when it's found out I did it? Probably not, Nikita. Casap is scheduled to appear for arraignment on May 7th, the Waukesha County court docket says. So obviously, so tragic, so heartbreaking that he brutally murdered his own parents and that their life was lost because of this derangement and Nazi ideology. And then again, just some sort of incoherence as to what the heck were you doing here? You're going to assassinate Trump and that's going to trigger a race war or something, a revolution, and then the white race is going to be saved? Ugh. Share your thoughts, as I always say, in the comments.